Tribe is a fast-growing property technology company disrupting the traditional property management industry. The company just hired Angelo Bartolini as president of the company, a very successful and experienced prop tech executive who helped grow Altus into a multi-billion-dollar firm. We've got both Joe Nakla, CEO, and Angelo Bartolini of Tribe joining us today to discuss Angelo's role in the firm and the company's recent update on its Meritus acquisition. I'm Martin Gagel with Market Radius Research. Please remember, this is neither recommendation or investment advice. We're here to learn about the company. Hi, Joe, and welcome, Angelo. It's great seeing you again, Joe. It's been a while since we've had an update from you. Please tell us about Angelo joining the firm and what it means for the company and shareholders.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great coup for our organization to attract somebody of Angelo's pedigree to come to our small company. Obviously, we feel really highly of the platform we've built and the footprint that we built as an organization. But as we take this next step towards growing the business and kind of backfilling the national footprint that we've been able to accomplish, you require a significant amount of human capital and human talent, and Angelo was probably one of the handful people in our shores that fit that bill, and we were very, very fortunate to have him see the vision that we're embarking on and wanting to roll up his sleeves and join the company.
Angelo, why don't you tell us what brought you to Tribe? What did you see in the company, its opportunity, and what it's built to date that made you want to join another smallish kind of startup?
I don't know to what extent my background, but I was with Altus Group for 15 years, over 12 years of that as CFO of the company. When I started, Altus Group was a small Canadian-only, services-only company, a little larger than what Tribe is today, but not significantly larger. And we increased that company tenfold during my tenure there and transformed it into a little services Canadian company into a global, mostly technology company. And it was such a great ride, such a great journey that when I left at the end of 2022. And as I thought about my next chapter, I thought, I want to do this again. I had so much fun. And I thought, I'd like to join another Canadian company that has a great growth opportunity. And I want to ensure as well that, of course, I'm going to check the leadership out and that I like the leadership and in particular, the CEO. And when I met Joseph and we talked about Tribe, I realized pretty quickly that this was the opportunity that I was actually looking for. It ticked the boxes for me. It's early stage. It's got a great run rate, great growth opportunity ahead of it, and a great leadership team. And I felt like I'd be joining this company and working as a partner with Joseph, which is what we're doing. And I am thrilled to be here. And I'm super excited and look forward to what's next with Tribe.
I feel that the real estate industry is one of the industries still in the economy that has gone through the least amount of digital transformation. There's still a lot of sort of old school stuff in it. A lot of people have sort of tried, but it hasn't quite worked out. Do you see that same situation in the industry? And I know more specifically on the property management side, what opportunities do you see with that?
Yeah, I in particular in the property management space. I mean, when I was at Altus, that was very true in terms of its technologies that it was provided. We went through a transition with the existing client base. We moved them from a very sort of low tech, not very sophisticated technology into enterprise solutions over the course of that. And there was some heavy lifting required because the CRE industry is a little bit hesitant to make those early moves. They are a bit slower along the adoption curve, and but we made that journey, and it does happen. And so I think the property management segment itself is sort of where Altus would have been a decade ago. And what I'm seeing in this industry, it is a little hesitant in terms of adopting the technologies, but it is happening. It's early stage, but I see a great growth potential because it still is very manual in its process. It's still very much how business has been conducted for the last 30 to 50 years, if you will.
Because you had actually joined earlier as CFO, and then I guess you kind of realigned, figured out where the strengths, needs, and opportunities are, and then you're, I don't know, call it promoted or given additional responsibilities. Was that the original plan for you to come on as president, or when you arrived, did you see, hey, there's more opportunity for my skill set where I'm presumably more operationally focused as opposed to just financially? How did that process evolve?
Joseph and I had many discussions before I started, and a lot of discussions around the vision, in particular tribes opportunity in this space, how we're going to go to market. And as I said, the reason for me joining was to help this organization and work with Joseph to really help it through its growth spurt. I've been with many successful companies, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, and then more recently Altus, and I've had the opportunity to see how companies can transform and help them along that path. And so I joined initially as CFO, looking at it strictly from a financial lens, but also with the view that I was going to participate in the operations. And as I joined, both Joseph and I felt that really to get at it in a more meaningful and more timely way, in a very substantive way, it would make sense that I took on this role a little bit more fulsome, and that we could really divide and conquer, if you will, and really share where there's common ground, but then really focus in certain areas. And I've always been more of an operational CFO, and so this was a natural transition, and it is panning out to early days, very early days, but I think we're already starting to see the success of the way we're sort of organizing around our business.
With, let's call it, your horsepower now on the team, and Joe, now that you've got a, like, I don't know, lieutenant or a partner there at Tribe, who I think the vision or strategy is often overweighted when looking at companies. You can have a great strategy, but it's all about execution. And you've obviously been there, done that, Angelo, so you've executed on a lot of operational things. Now that you've got Angelo there, are you able to, I don't know, accelerate the growth plans, or say, hey, we're going to do some more M&A because we've got the bandwidth, the experience that we can do more of this, or say, no, we can, does it affect the strategy all where you can maybe be more M&A focused or more organic focused, or just accelerate everything a little bit faster because you've got the team to do it?
No, it's a great question and very astute. The truth of the matter is, you got to remember, and everybody that doesn't know enough about the industry should know, that there's really only two other national players in our space. And the other two national players are in the multi-billion-dollar, size. And the reason I bring that up is because, we're the little engine that could. We're operating in 8 markets. We've been the most active company in M&A. So even though the hyper growth we've been experiencing, and we're, a Fast 50 companies, are all great accolades and just nothing but kudos to the team and their execution, there's still infrastructure that needs to continue to be built and hardened, and you really can't skip that step. And that's what Angelo's, a lot of experience can really help you do, is you can start looking a little bit backwards and going, okay, let's now drive the most amount of efficiencies and processes around the operation to kind of give us this strong foundation so we can actually keep building on top of it, both organically and M&A. But the theme of your question is not wrong, Martin, within the context of it does allow, obviously, somebody like myself now to be, still very obviously operationally focused on the execution, but really, really focused now on what are the next big things that we're working on. And the street will see in the next 4 quarters, at least 4 quarters announcements, trends that will be taking us in a much more desirable way based on the vision. And also that is a function of stability of operations and obviously a function of further M&A, organic growth, even identifying new markets and new opportunities that we haven't had the resources to go after.
So, Angelo, you can sort of focus on fine-tuning the internal operations and then get it ready, set up so that it's well running. So as you add growth to it, you don't start like finding broken parts of the operation. You can really then, it gives you the ability to really scale without breaking yourselves.
That's exactly it. I mean, there's opportunities right now to improve on some of our workflows and processes. But really, when it comes down to it is, our plan is to do a large number of M&As. At Altus, we did over 50 transactions when I was there. And you need to have a strong foundation, and you need to be able to integrate really, really well and move fast. And so that's been my experience, and that's what I can focus on. Really doing well as Joseph continues to work through our vision and strategy and M&A transactions, and sort of getting them across the line, and I think that does accelerate our growth strategy for sure.
In the same news release, you mentioned the Meritus acquisition, that it was coming along nicely. Is there anything you want to add to that? Give a bit of context on how Meritus fits in, and maybe give a very brief sort of what type of company that was for viewers?
Yeah, happy to. So for those that have been watching us will have noticed, and I actually spoke about it many times, that we really wanted to make moves in the GTA area. It's no surprise to the world. That's one of the fastest growing condo markets for the last 15, 20 years. And we had been licensing our software to a larger, wonderful developers in that market, but we didn't actually have the licensing and the footprint to operate it and to deliver full service inclusive of property management. So that was a big area for us. We really wanted people that are like-minded. We wanted a company that was not very big, that also was adjusting to the technology and the changes of the service delivery with great people and great leadership. And we felt really, really strongly that Meritus hit that sweet spot for us. And obviously we closed on that transaction. And now what we're in the middle of doing is integrating and informing a lot of our existing developer customers in that market that, hey, we've got now feet on the ground. You can get the benefits of all of our services that you've been kind of salivating over because we exist in all other markets, but not in the GTA market. And now it's available to you. So that's been going really, really well. Early days, but the team has been great. And we're very excited to expand that footprint in the GTA.
We should wrap things up here shortly. Just a quick outlook on what sort of type of news flow should investors be looking out for in 2024?
Well, Angelo alluded to it. We will be just as robust and strong in our approach to M&A. We're working our way up the pyramid of availability of companies. That's my fancy way of saying we're working towards larger transactions that kind of fit our national footprint and scale. So you'll see us very active there. You'll also see us very active in increasing our revenue per we'll call them home, or per door, as the street knows it. That's through organic and partnerships. That's a big area of the business. And holistically, Angelo and I and the rest of the C-suite and the team all across the country really are honing down on the importance of now that we're national, now that we have the footprint, now that we have the scale, really it's time to really start driving very directly towards profitability.
With that, I thank you both for joining us today. Angelo, welcome. And talk to you again soon, and have a great day.
Thank you. All the
you.
best.